Hey everybody, Christina from Creations with Christina, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be making a birthday card using some embossing paste. And I want my embossing paste to be a different color than just white. So what I did was I took some of my Peacock Feathers Distress ink from the little mini Distress ink sets and some of the embossing paste, and I'm just putting that down onto my craft mat and blending the embossing paste and the distress ink together to get a really pretty shade of a light blue or light teal color. And what I'm doing is just kind of scraping that off onto my palette and cleaning my craft area so that I can go ahead and start putting it onto my card base. My card base is a 4 1/4 by 11-inch cardstock, Nina White Solar cardstock, as a matter of fact. And later I'm going to go ahead and score this for a standard A2 size card. I'm using the Tim Holtz Harlequin stencil that I just put down at an angle, and I adhered that down with some post-it tape just to keep it in place while I put a thin layer of my embossing paste on top of the die, or the stencil rather. And I'm just really smoothing it out nicely. I'm not making it too thick of the layer of embossing paste. And once I have that down, I scrape up as much as I can from the stencil, and then I'll peel back the stencil to reveal the really pretty harlequin shape. So before I get this fully dry, I'm just pulling out some of my, this is Stampin' Up's Iridescent Ice, I think it's called, embossing powder, and I'm just sprinkling that on. I know there's other brands out there. This happens to be just the one that I had in my stash, but this has a real pretty glitter in it, so I just sprinkled that on, and I set this aside to mostly dry on its own, to let the embossing paste to dry on its own, because I didn't want to start heat setting it too early or the embossing paste would start to bubble. So after I gave it some time to dry, probably about 20 minutes, half an hour or so, then I went ahead and did the setting of the embossing powder with my heat gun, and just the little sparkle to that is just really nice. And my Score Buddy is my favorite tool for doing my cards, so I just went ahead and did my score line at 5.5. And because I waited so long for my heating and stuff like that, my card didn't warp too much. For my stamp set, I'm using a paper tray ink stamp set, and it's been a while since I played with any of my paper tray ink stamps. This is one of those $5 sets. It's called the Heart to Heart number 5 collection, and it's cute little kind of birthday sentiments and a little banner that you can do your own little flags for. So I took what would be the string to the banner and inked that up with some cobblestone ink by Simon Says Stamp and stamped that down. And then before I start stamping out my little banner pieces and I have my cobblestone ink out, I'm going to go ahead and do the sentiment on the front, which is it's your special day. And again, I'm inking that up with the cobblestone ink on my Martha Stewart stamp press. I kind of go between my Fisker's stamp press, which is the bigger one, and my smaller Martha Stewart stamp press. And I really like these because of the lines, and I feel like I can line things up much better when I have those lines on my stamping blocks. So I just went ahead and stamped out my sentiment, and now I'm going to be taking the 2 different inks. I'm using Hero Arts Soft Pool ink, and that's the light blue color, and then I'm using the Simon Says Stamp golden, I think it's Golden Locks. And I'm just taking the same band, or 2 of the different banner shapes from that set, and stamping it every other with the 2 different inks. And I really like how the pattern came out on this, and I did it at an angle in the corner just to kind of round out the card. So I just went ahead and finished stamping that out. Once I was all done with the stamping, I wanted to add my sentiment to the inside. So I'm using the 2 different sentiments that come in this kit, or this little collection. It says today and every day. So I'm going to stamp that first. That's going to be my second line. And then I have celebrate, which is more of a script writing, and that'll go above that. So once again, using my cobblestone ink. Cobblestone is probably one of my favorite inks for if you needed a brown tone for stamping out sentiments, and it stamps out beautifully. It is a dye-based ink, and usually it takes a little bit to absorb into the paper so that the color, kind of the ink evens out on it. But with the sentiments, I noticed that it stamps perfectly every time. So I'm stamping out the today and every day. And then I'm going to do the celebrate. Again, I find lining it up on my mat and then lining it up on my block helps me stamp so much more straighter than I normally do, because I cannot stamp straight for anything. So once I have that inked up, I'm going to stamp that right above the today and every day. And then to finish off my card, I just felt it needed a little bit more, so I am just taking my We Are Memory Keepers corner rounder, and on the 1/4 inch side, I just went ahead and rounded the bottom corners. So that's my card for today. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And as always, a list of supplies are down below in the YouTube description, and also over on my blog if you want to check it out. So don't forget to give today's video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe so you can be updated when I post new videos. If you want to see more birthday cards, in the upper right-hand corner, you'll see my last card that I did that was birthday themed. And also below that, a shaker card that I recently made. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you next time.